and 2029, if there is internal divisions amongst them, we're going to discontinue such a structure. If there is infights and factionalism and all of these things, we're going to have to discontinue the structure or isolate the people who are involved in factionalism. If there's one thing we're going to decisively nip in the bud, it's factionalism and gatekeeping. Those are the demons that we're not going to tolerate in Mkhonto weSizwe, and will deal with much more decisively, without any fear, without any tiptoeing around anyone in terms of how such is handled. Now, can I have the copies of the constitutions there? On the 26th of September, we adopted the constitution of Mkhonto weSizwe, 26 September 2026. So we've got the different versions in all languages. So in the Zulu version says, Umthetho Sisekelo weqembu lomkhonto weSizwe, adopted on the 26th of September 2024. And at the same meeting, we adopted the code of conduct. We also adopted something we call the minimum standards, guidelines, and code of conduct for all public representatives. Since the adoption of the Constitution, the minimum standards, and the code of conduct, there has never been an amendment of the MK Constitution. So in the minimum standards, there is a clause which is standard for all organizations that are self-respecting, that on issues that relate to MK or governance, if you are deployed in the legislature, if you are deployed in National Assembly or National Council of Provinces, if there's an issue that you want to raise before you reach the president, please raise that issue in the internal structures. Raise it in the caucus. If the caucus does not give you a hearing, raise it with the officials in the province where you come from. If it's not handled properly, then approach the other officials at national level. Instead of you taking a bus from Limpopo and you go to Dunus to want to meet the president about an issue which, if you had raised with the leadership of the province, it could have been resolved. And that is the character of all self-respecting organizations, that let's have Mkhonto weSizwe as an organization that exists and is able to deal with all its issues everywhere it finds itself. So the culture or subculture, sometimes it's done with good intentions, but sometimes it's also done with bad intentions, where people say, no, we're just visiting the president, we just want to say thank you to the president, we're just going to introduce ourselves. And when they are there, they are talking about internal dynamics and politics of Mkhonto weSizwe. And the leadership that they are talking about or complaining about or raising concerns about is not immediately there. And the president does not close his doors. All of us know, all of you know as members of Mkhonto weSizwe, that the president welcomes everyone who comes to him. Like literally everyone. If you go to Nkandla, you go to wherever he will be, he is open to everyone. But we are then saying that as a matter of proper record and proper conduct of the organization, if you want to raise organizational issues or issues that relate to governance, raise it in the relevant structures instead of you going to raise it there. Because one issue which we have to deal with, it's a situation where even when the comrades who go to visit the president have not raised any issue with him, they will ask for a photo with the president. And then when they go back to the ground and they go back to the legislature, they harass people with that photo. That I was with the president here, the president said, Ubaba Ute. That is what we are dealing with much more decisively, to protect the character of the organization, which is able to deal with its own issues. There are disciplinary issues that we have taken in relation to Mpumalanga. We've mentioned that, but the DSG is correct that because those that have been subjected to the disciplinary process or decisions have been taken against them still have the leeway or the permissibility to appeal, we can't be publicizing their names. It will not be fair on them. Because everywhere they go, they're going to be treated that this is an expelled member, this is an expelled member. We just are explaining the simple fact that we have taken a decision to expel members. They must exhaust internal process. And once they are out of the organization, we will explain even the offenses that they committed.